with the Series 3. I believe it's a 16mm core, so it's a little bit different from what he's used to using. It's probably going to be a little bit softer than what he's used to.
Yeah, I'd assume it's popping off a little bit slower than the previous one.
Yeah, it'll have
thicker core.
It'll have a little less pop, but with that thicker core and heavier swing weight, he'll have a little bit more plow through from the baseline.
Yeah.
Playing against number 26 seed Gabriel Joseph and Donald Young.
Looks like these players are just about to finish up their warm-up, and we'll get started with game one.
All right. If you've got to pick one of these paddles out there, what are you using?
You know, I'm going to be going with the Paddle Tech. I really like the pop. The counters with those are...
Which one of them, Dave's or Sam's? Dave has a little bit... They both have the current generation, right? But you said that Sam has a slightly longer handle.
Yeah, so they're both the TKO paddle, but there's two versions. There's the TKO-C and TKO-CX. The CX is a little bit longer handle with a 5.75-inch handle. Yeah, I've got pretty big hands. I really like my TUI, so I'm going to take as much handle as possible, and I'm going with the CX.
God, you're such a nerd.
That is the job description.
I love it. Dave to serve. Right away, we're seeing Dave starting on the right side. I'm curious if they're stacking. Yeah,
looks like they are.
Dave's on the right here. Ooh, that's a good-looking backhand. It's just wide.
Like that drive, just missed it by an inch.
I don't know if it was smart, but it looked good.
What kind of patterns do you think we're going to see out of these guys?
I think a ton of drive and crash from Donald and Gabe. And I think Dave's probably going to look to be pretty aggressive from the kitchen, not necessarily from the back.
A little bit more traditional, slower game.
Yeah, and Dave, Dave loves to get into the hands battles. He's obviously won a ton of titles, and I've played a ton with Dave back in Wisconsin. And still to this day, there's not too many guys that have quicker hands than Dave. Something that I think is going to be trouble for Dave is he does like to slice that return. And that's just going to be giving Gabe and Donald the opportunity to even plow through those shots a little bit more, generate more spin as well.
Yeah, they're able to unload with that forehand and gain a little bit extra top spin.
Yeah, so for those of you guys who don't know, spin is difficult to reverse on a pickleball. So if you've given somebody topspin, it's very difficult for them to hit topspin back. If you've given somebody a slice, it is easy for them to basically double the amount of spin. Did a pretty bad job of explaining that, but you get more spin when somebody slices, just trust me.
Looks like you're right with these patterns. We're seeing a lot of aggression at Gabe and Donald, a lot of crash and drives.
1-1-1.
Inside out there. Interesting pull there off the line a little bit.
Finally, we see a dink rally, and immediately Donald does not want to be dinking.
He said, nope, I'm out. I think unwinding a stack is not smart against this team.
Yeah, it's going to be tough, especially for Dave, being a little bit older, getting over to that side. Might take him a little bit longer.
There we go. Good hands. Very good hands from Dave. Yeah, I think they should stop unwinding the stack immediately.
I agree. Yeah, we're seeing a lot of drops out of Sam and Dave, and almost drives on every third from Donald and Gabe. Little mispull there.
Yeah, I think I'd like to see these guys a little bit calmer from the baseline, meaning Sam and Dave.
Oh, I'm sorry, I did not hear that. Yes.
they're not going to outdrive this team that's playing right into their strengths.
No, I think they're kind of getting baited into it a little bit, and they're playing right into what Gabe and Donald want.
But not too much scoreboard damage quite yet. Only 3 ones.
It's been a slow game. Now, you've known Dave for a long time. You've played with him before. Do you have any insight on why he stares straight at the ground when he hits the ball and nods his head?
So what he's doing is he's looking at his contact point, and he's sort of he's just holding that. So yeah, he's just making sure that he's tracking the ball all the way to his paddle. And yeah, dude's been at it a long time. He's been at the top of the pickleball game for as long as I've been playing, and I've been playing since like 2013. So.
Unfortunately, I'm not quite as recognizable as you out here. I think I have to get my duper a little bit higher before that happens.
You guys have an awesome pod. I always enjoy it when I do tune in. I don't tune in too often, frankly. But then again, I never listen to my own, so.
Unfortunate mistake out of Dave there. I believe that ball was going long. Couldn't quite get out of the way.
Yeah, he was looking to see whether it was going out or not. Tough to tell. That's a nice spot over there. See, there's a little pattern of Dave dictating over to Donald's backhand. But if you are Dave and Sam, who are you returning?
At the moment, Donald looks a little bit more dangerous. I'd be returning to Gabe. I haven't seen Donald get into the kitchen and poach too much, although they haven't really been returning to Gabe too much.
Good hands there.
Unfortunate net cord there. But you really don't have many options because both of these guys have very deadly drives.
And both of them have deadly crashes as well. Yep, there we go. So on cue, we have a return to Gabe. Gabe clobbers the living crap out of that ball.
002.
That's a very good poke in there from Donald. I did not see that coming.
It was a low roll.
Yeah.
That was an impressive take. Still seeing the aggression out of Gabe and Young, and still seeing that slice return out of Dave.
There we go. Hand over there. We're going to sit at that. Oh man, I think they also leave some of these. They're not coming off the net super high, but they're coming off the net super hot. That one was only a couple inches over the net. It's still probably gonna hit the back fence. Goes for the ATP. I think it was there, but
A little late.
yeah, a little late to it. Now, one of the things that's really impressed me about Donald is he does seem to be grinding. Unlike some of the other pro tennis players that have come over, he seems to have had the attitude of putting in the work and not necessarily expecting to be, phenomenal right away. And he has gotten better slowly, but he's been getting better consistently.
Yeah, he came into pickleball, was a little slow, but you can tell he's really been putting in the work, and I've been following his game, and it's very impressive.
Gabe absolutely rifles that ball. Short slice return. I don't know if Gabe was aiming for the court, but you don't need to if you're gonna hit it that hard right at somebody.
Honestly, sometimes just going for the bag, swinging hard is the right play.
For sure. I've got a great target that I used to work on. I have this Chris Olsen target that I set up, and I I just go to town on it.
You know, I might have seen that 1 or 2 times
I heard a
before.
sound back here. I heard a sound back here.
Dave commenting on where Gabe's ball landed. Landed in Austin. Oh, man.
All right, great counter out of Sam.
He says, no, no, no. He said, get that crap out of here.
Finally seeing some dink rallies, and Dave and Sam seem to be ahead in those.
Nice drop, nice poach from the Badger.
It's really where those poppy paddle techs are very, very impressive. It's very difficult to deal with the counters and pokes from these poppy paddles. There we see it again.
There we go. Now we're playing. Now we're playing, boys.
Settling in.
Three, four, one.
That was an ATP third shot.
Second
I
serve.
think that went around the post.
I believe it did. It did.
And then we got a net cord, which is a
3,
bummer.
4, 2.
Great defend by Donald on that.
Side up.
Honestly, when Donald's got an overhead and a point, you're playing with house money if you get that one back.
His overhead is unlike anything I've seen.
Nice, good hands there. Way to fight that one off. Again, not easy to win a point when Donald's connecting on 3, 4 forehands.
Lucky little neck cord there.
And that's a good ball there.
Good ball. Right on it, Gabe. Shot.
Yeah, the slice is just
5, 3, 2.
it's sitting there. It's not penetrating through the court. It's not staying low, and it's giving Gabe and Donald the opportunity to tee off on that ball.
6, 3,
Yeah, these
2.
forehands have been very impressive.
There we go. That was a little deeper.
Go. Side out.
Gabe with an ambitious pull there. Tough to do with that two-hander as well. Out of the air, you just don't have quite as much reach when you use the two-E.
Yeah, that one was pretty low and a little ambitious with that 2E speed up.
Hey, that's a good attack by Sam. Donald was all over it. I like that pattern. If Sam can go backhand with Gabe, he's got a few looks at some higher balls.
Side out.
Can put away there.
Good shot. Six, 3, 1. Point.
And that's honestly just caused by Gabe coming over and putting pressure on.
7, 3,
I
1.
think Sam felt it at the last second there.
Point.
Another free point on the serve. This is, you know,
Donald and Young are really, or excuse me, Donald and Gabe are.
I have bad bunions. Wish they'd disappear.
Lapiplasty.
Sup? Future me? And no bunions! How?
Lapiplasty.
Lapiplasty corrects bunions at the source, meaning you're back in sneakers in weeks.
Lapiplasty.
Weeks! The future of bunion surgery is here. Learn more at lapiplasty.com. Risks include infection, pain, and loss of correction.
these drives are coming a lot quicker.
8, 3, 1.
8-3. Sam's all over that punch there.
Yeah, I was playing last night and I was indoors, and you know the ball does feel like it moves a little faster indoors, but it was a bit warmer. I came outside and warmed up last night or this morning, and the ball is moving fast out here. It's a little bit cooler, it's a little bit harder, and it's definitely moving a bit quicker.
Yeah. Sam with a good look there.
9, 3, 2.
Very ambitious out of Donald.
I mean, it's a good poach. They actually just went behind him, and so he had hit that backhand rather than a forehand. I don't know what he was supposed to do with it at that point. Nice drop. There we go. Like that pad. don't.
They got exactly what they wanted, and unfortunately just made a simple error.
It's tough. Ball back at 9-3. Just on there for Gabe. Gabe not super happy with himself, but it's 9-3, bro.
Taking big swings at 9-3, make something happen. You've got a big lead.
Yeah, that's pretty nasty.
Great forehand out of
It's
Donald.
honestly just it's so compact as well. It doesn't even look like he's taking an enormous windup, but it just rockets off that paddle. And that's not a pocket paddle.
No, it is not. It's a pretty soft paddle.
Yeah, where do you think that ranks in the percentile of pro paddles used? That's got to be in the, I mean, you know better than me.
Fairly low, but we're actually seeing a lot of Proton pros switch over from the Series 1 to the Series 3 now. I mean, recently we've seen Andre use it. Donald's now using it. We're seeing a lot more pros use it now.
That sounds, I mean, the rumor on the street is that there is some minor changes they've made to these that is making them a decent amount hoppier. And I think something that was exposed is that that these paddles, the previous generation, the cotton candy looking ones, and the green ones, and the gray ones, I don't know what the hell they're called, but they struggle with humidity, right?
Yes.
When it gets humid, slide directly off of it. So Travis Rettenmeyer switched after a Bristol experience when he just hit the fence or the top of the net on his drives.
That Series 1 Proton has a smooth, more rubbery surface, and if it gets humid and wet at all on the surface, you lose that tacky feel on it, and you just can't spin the ball as well. And I think these pros are wanting to use something a bit grittier, like the Series 3, and they get a little bit more spin out of it.
Build that paddle just as long as it's not in one particular condition, which is tough. Just back. Again, very compact. That it's a difficult shot for Sam to read. In fact, I think he did read it properly, but just one at it.
Yeah. I like that speed up out of Donald. Unfortunate shank out of Gabe there. It's a good drive.
It's the first time a drive's worked for these guys.
Yeah, we've not seen many successful drives out of Dave and Sam.
I mean, they've made a few, but they've pretty much lost them every time.
Lucky net cord out of here at 6-10. A little bit of scoreboard pressure. They can definitely come back from this.
100%.
6-10-1.
On the one as well. A little lackadaisical from Gabe and Donald. Oh, he fixes that. He pulled that right through the middle. That's got, I think.
Who's got to cover that ball in the middle there?
That's got to be Dave. Got to be Dave. The player diagonally has the responsibility. If Sam read it correctly, he could step in there.
Great hands and great poach out of Dave there.
Playing big in the middle.
7-10-2.
Nice drop. I don't know about that speed up from Donald. Sam's up there quickly, and we're at 8-10. We got a game.
8-10.
Nice drop on that. No, it's not deterred there. Goes for that. Gets it down the line.
I'd really like to see Dave and Sam start to dink more to Gabe. Donald's backhand has just been lethal.
It's interesting. Previously, the scouting report on Donald was to find that backhand. He's really looking to pull it. They get another third shot or fourth shot